What is up, guys? So today, as you can see, we are in a brand new setup. I apologize for the lateness of the videos lately. I'm going to be trying to do some movie reviews from the past few months that I've missed. I haven't done a movie review since like January, and that's because I've been waiting to redo the setup. And of course, we finally got all the stuff. Whole room's different now. This is what the scenery is going to look like. As you can see, the room's a little different. We got some lighting effects and everything. But yeah, this is what we're going to be looking like. Instead of like the camping chair, we got the nice couch here. We got some pillows. This is going to change eventually, but this is just the setup for now. We got like a Batman thing here and then the two Spider-Man posters because they've just re-released Spider-Man. Got some cool lighting effects, but for now, this is what it's going to be like. It's going to be, spiced up a little bit within the next few months when I get more stuff, but this is what the scenery is going to look like, and quite frankly, I feel like this is really nice because it shows that we're evolving, even though it took some steps to get there and a little bit of less videos through the meanwhile. But anyways, without further ado, I saw Godzilla vs. Kong way later than when it came out. I saw it April 17th. I know the movie came out in like late March, but I wanted to give my thoughts on it no matter how late this video is going to be posted compared to most people because it is May. And or it's almost May, and you know what, let's just jump right into it. So starting off, I'm a big fan of the Godzilla vs. King Kong movies. Godzilla and King Kong movies. I always watched the old ones from Japan back when I was just like a little kid, especially like the Godzilla movies. Loved them all. Didn't really understand any of it because it was all in Japanese, but I just love the visual effects, Godzilla, and just Godzilla as a whole. However, I was always more of a King Kong guy. I loved the King Kong from 2005. It always just piqued my interest, and so when I saw the new sort of like MonsterVerse era coming out, that always was awesome to me. I loved the Godzilla movie from 2014 when I first watched it as a kid. Over time, I grew to like it less, and then like, King of Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, and then of course we got this beautiful movie, Godzilla x Kong. Don't forget Kong, Skull Island, my bad. So Godzilla x Kong is arguably the best movie within this franchise, for me. And it's arguably the most goofiest and doesn't make any sense at all. So, I mean, you gotta go into this movie with a very mindset of, it's going to be the most stupidest movie you're ever gonna see. And quite frankly, that's what I went into. I went into going like, this is gonna be like a Saturday morning cartoon. Gonna go into it and not really gonna pay attention much to the plot, but more of the fact that we're going to see Godzilla and King Kong fight another ape. That's pretty much the plot, and it's pretty fun. Honestly, for plot, I'm giving the plot a 7 out of 10. For me, this is the best plot of any of the MonsterVerse movies, because I always hated how they always did like the human character storylines. Hated that. And with this movie, we definitely get a very better, like, human character storyline because it focuses more on the monsters than the humans. And, like, that was the problem with, like, King of Monsters, like Godzilla King of Monsters, or Godzilla versus Kong. They never really focused on the humans. They more focused on they never focused on the monsters, they more focused on the humans. And so that's why I really like this movie, because they focus on the monsters, and it's just really fun to see, like, Godzilla and King Kong fight, even though, Godzilla and King Kong team up, even though we don't get really much of Godzilla in this movie. But like I said, I'm more of a fan of King Kong anyway. So this movie's basically just Kong Skull Island Part 2, with Godzilla in it. Visually, I'm giving this movie a 9 out of 10. I think the visual effects in this movie are just fantastic. Godzilla Evolved looks great. There are a little bit of wonky scenes in here, and it is just a goofy movie, but overall, the effects look great. There's no of, like, the MCU, like, cheap effects where, like, they're, like, feel rushed. They feel like they're great, kind of like, Planet of the Apes in a way. That's how I got the visual effects out of this movie. And like I said, it's just very Saturday morning cartoons, eating cereal, watching those cartoons that you used to watch as a kid. Like SpongeBob or like X-Men 97. Kind of like just like an awesome fun adventure that you kind of just shut your brain off and watch. X-Men 97, I shouldn't really say that. More like Spider-Man, The Adventures of Spider-Man, you know? Like, this is a movie that, like, you just go in and have fun. For acting, I'm giving this acting a 6 out of 10. Like I said, there's really, it's the best human storyline, but I mean, the acting's not great. I will say there's one character, I forget his name because it's been a bit since I've seen this movie, but whenever he was on screen, he always wore a Hawaiian shirt. I loved him. He was my favorite. Really funny. Loved his entrances, especially the soundtrack with him, which going into soundtrack 7 out of 10. There's nothing amazing, but whenever we saw that certain character, there was always like a really fun song with it, and I always loved that. It really made me laugh. Really, it was fun. But yeah, soundtrack and acting, it's pretty good. Nothing to brag about. Pretty good though. Enjoyability, 9 out of 10. This is probably this. It's just such a fun movie. Very enjoyable. There's really nothing to hate on it unless you're an extremely harsh movie critic. But if you go into this movie, like I said, with the mindset of that it's going to be bad or it's going to be just the goofiest movie you've ever seen, then it's going to be fun. But if you go into this movie expecting like Godzilla -1, you're going to be very disappointed because this movie, it quite frankly, it's bad. It's just that it's so enjoyable, it's so fun, that like it's fun that it is bad. You know, like it's not like Morbius bad, but it's more of like it's just goofy, silly little time. You get to see Kong just with a hammer and an infinity gauntlet, basically. He's literally carrying Mjolnir and an infinity gauntlet. That's awesome. What could be so bad about that, you know? It's great. And then for ending, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. The ending I feel like was a little wonky. Kind of got that whole Paul Atreides scene where like Godzilla or King Kong goes back to like the kingdom after feeding the villain, which the villain kind of sucks in this movie. That's my one flaw with this movie, but like he kind of just like goes like that with like a whole like sword. That's awesome for me because like it's really cool, but like again, like it's nothing great. One thing I don't really like about this movie is that like when you're in like the other Earth or Middle Earth, not Middle Earth, I forget what it's called, but like the world that they're all from, it just seems like they're regular monkeys because everything's so large that like it fits them. And they're in that like land for like half the movie. So they just look like regular monkeys. Yeah, so like you're kind of watching Planet of the Apes for a little bit here. But you know, it's really fun. Gotta love it. Really good. So overall, I'm giving this movie a 74 out of 100. That's a 7 out of 10. It's a pretty enjoyable film. Nothing great, nothing bad. Currently, it is in the top 3 of the year because this year, quite frankly, has been a very slow year for movies so far, and we're already getting into May. Last year, by this time, we had quite a bit of movies coming out that were great. I mean, I didn't see Dune 2 yet, so I can't really say anything about that. But so far, my movies this year have been a little mid, so this is third in line. But with that being said, this movie's a pretty fun time. I enjoyed it. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys like the setup? Are we vibing with it? Are we vibing with the room change? Let me know in the comments below. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, make sure you like it. If you really liked it, make sure you subscribe. And make sure you share this video with your friends and family. Always show some love and positivity out there. And ring that bell for future movie reviews like this. And let me know what movies you want me to review. May the 4th is coming up. I think we're going to be ranking all the Star Wars movies. And maybe I'll review all the Star Wars movies. If that's what you guys are into, let me know. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. See you out. Peace.